Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nayaswami Padma, and I'm here today to bring you the noontime inspiration on the teachings, the original teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda. Today is Wednesday, April 27th, I believe. In any case, it's Wednesday. And I want to read to you still from Swami Kriyananda's autobiography, The New Path. During the years he lived with Paramhansa Yogananda, I'm in the chapter called Work versus Meditation. He says, Master taught us not only to offer our work moment by moment to God, but also to see God acting through us as the real doer. I slept, he said once, and dreamt I was working. I woke up and saw God was working. Action in this spirit wasn't intended to make us automatons. I remember thinking halfway through a sermon one Sunday, if God really is the doer, why not mentally remove myself from the scene altogether and wait for him to speak through me? There followed 2 minutes of silence. Friends in the audience thought I'd frozen from nervousness, but to me this pause was simply an interesting experiment. Finally, I concluded that God had no intention of speaking for me. It was I who had to do the work. His was simply the inspiration for my words, to the extent that I was able to draw on that inspiration. Well, I confess, I don't have the courage to have an experiment like that, to take that upon myself, to stand in public and not say a word, expecting God to speak through me, or at least thinking that that's the teaching, and so experimenting with it. Bless his courage. But it was a very good exercise and a very lovely one for him to share with us in this book, because it again speaks to the fact that we cannot get there through inaction. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in the Gita that we must act to become free. And so we have to act, but we have to know and experience that God is acting through us. And the way that this works is by remembering God, remembering to look for God in the people we're serving, remembering to look for God in the projects that we're working on. I love this one quotation I remember at the back of the book of Yogananda's foremost woman disciple, Sister Gyanamata. It says something about, I'll paraphrase, the accountant at his work writes about God in the margins of his ledgers, remembering the divine, remembering God as the doer. It doesn't matter the specifics of the work, assuming it's moral or not immoral work, which anyone listening to this broadcast, surely it would be that. It would be moral work. And so it's not about the specifics of what we're doing. It's not even about the specifics of who we're serving. God is in everyone and in everything. And when we remember that, that is when the divine can work through us. That's when the divine is working through us, I should say. And it is in that remembrance and in the continuity, bit by bit over time with practice, in that remembrance, in everything that we do, that freedom comes. Freedom from ego, freedom from attachment to anything or anyone, and an ever deepening, continuous bliss of the joy of God, which is within each and every one of us. It's simply gotten covered over through the millions of incarnations with all of the selfish actions and desires, preferences. As Swami Kriyananda used to put it, we're a bundle of self-definitions. So the soul has gotten covered up by all of those things, but the joy and bliss of the soul is always there within each and every one of us. And with effort on our part and divine grace, we can experience the bliss of our own souls. Joy to you, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Many blessings.